Everyone, I am Carmen Michael, the professional mic holder.
Everyone, it's Alexis Cardoza.
What's up, everybody? It's the Wild Rhino Clark Connors from New Japan Pro Wrestling, and I am here getting wild, drinking an 805.
Hey, this is Billy Starks.
Rip F and Bison. I ran out of booze.
I am the fire starter, the Carney Killer. I am born to die, Jake Crest.
This is Bobby Olson.
This is Anthrax of H2O.
My name's Christopher Landon, Anthony Streeter.
My name is Frank Minetti.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Red Air and one half of the PH Boys from Hood Classic Entertainment, representing the Hood Boys, the PH Boys, Purple Haze, Prince Alexander.
This is Martin Stone, the original Strong Style Hooligan.
And today, you have the privilege
of drinking at Moe's.
And you know I'm drinking with Mo.
And you are drinking at Moe's.
All right, everybody, taking time out before we get this show started. I want to thank Reaper Apparel for having Drinking at Moe's be a brand ambassador for their clothing line. They got good stuff. They got t-shirts. They got hoodies. They got beanies. They got lots of great stuff, encouraging everybody to break out of their comfort zone, live their best self, and hey, it's something I try to live every day. Now, be sure when you go and you're filling out your order, use the code Drinking at Moe's, get 10% off, and the link and the code will both be in the description. Let's fucking go. All right, everybody, Drinking at Moe's, my 2 cents. Big Mo here, Nate here. You know the drill. YouTube, like, subscribe, share, comment, hit the notification bell, hit that like button with a Claymore kick like you're the Scottish Warrior.
Oh my God, Claymore!
Let's fucking go. Oh, and don't forget the audio platforms too, because yeah, and that YouTube algorithm is a pain in the ass. Anyways, we are here with another edition of My 2 Cents. Make it stop. All right. So, I like it when I get you cracking up like that. All right. So, make it stop. All right. So, especially recently, there has been like, okay, when I'm at work, I'll, during some downtimes, there'll be some wrestling related articles on the computer that I'll look up, and it'll say something like WWE veteran says this about somebody, or somebody says this about this person, or some other headline that doesn't say who it is, and then it's one of these 3 people. And I'll name them all right off the bat here. And we'll go from there. Vince Russo.
Mm-hmm.
The infamous Vince Russo. I don't even know what to say about this guy. Glenn Gilberti, otherwise known as Disco Inferno.
You mean the greatest member of the NWO that ever was created?
Oh, God. Don't even get me started there. Then, I'll get into that.
It's sarcasm, by the way.
And then the one and only Dave Meltzer.
Ah.
Now, okay, you know what? I'm just going to start with him.
Oh,
because, people know my opinions on him as well as they know Eric Bischoff's opinions of him.
A lot of people don't like him.
Oh, a lot of people don't like him. But here, this might shock some people. I will give Meltzer credit for this. At a time when there really wasn't a lot of backstage news sort of stuff out there, he built an empire off of it for a while, pretty much having a monopoly on it, and made a name for himself. And for that, I give him credit. Although, especially, the last few years, it has been proven that a lot of the stuff he says has been proven to be bullshit. There has been wrestlers that have come out and called him out on it. Eric Bischoff calls him out on stuff all the time.
Bischoff.
Part of what I love about his damn show.
Bischoff, I think Jim Ross, anyone that does a podcast with Conrad Thompson has ill feelings towards Dave Meltzer. So,
and I mean, I've kind of given Conrad shit on the whole Meltzer thing before, but in all honesty, thinking back on it, in Conrad's defense, yeah, he is using it as, this is what was being said at the time. He's not necessarily putting a whole bunch of weight on, this was 100% correct. It was just the information that was out there at the time. So, and plus, Conrad's podcasts are amazing. That's a whole nother thing. He's got a great thing going.
I've told you should get him on the show.
Oh, I would love that. I would absolutely love that. We'll see if that can ever happen. But it's like, I've literally heard stories from wrestlers from independents and national TV that have said they know of people that purposely feed him stories that are complete bullshit just to see him put it out there as, this is what's happening back there.
I think Jeff Jarrett, when he was getting TNA up and running, I think he had someone that would do that specifically just to see if it would go out there and how many people would jump all over.
You know what? I think that's one of the places I've heard about. One of the times I've heard about that was something involving that. Yeah. So it's just like, I don't know. I don't have as much to say on him because, I mean, I've said enough on him before. But the other people, Vince Russo. That
bro.
Yeah. I mean, we've kind of gone over it before. That literally the only reason his ideas are thought of in the way that they are when it came to, his big break in the Attitude Era was because he had people above him that would tell him when an idea was complete shit. And then they wouldn't do it. He's proven that when he doesn't have that person above him to be that veto on if an idea's crap, he's proven that he can't cut it.
100%.
Like, hell, just look at the whole WCW fiasco. He had a large... I mean, there was multiple things that went into, the downfall of WCW, but Vince Russo had a large hand in a lot of it.
I'll
look at some of the last few years of that.
I'll point to one thing, and it pops into my head. When Russo and who was the dude that did the really bad impersonation of JR on WCW?
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
The other former WWE writer, when he wasn't on screen as much, it was more of a Vince Russo thing. He came up with the stupid pregnancy angle was I believe either Tori Wilson or Stacy Keibler. I can't remember which one.
Keibler and David Flair.
Yes, they came up with this stupid. I mean, it was absolutely. Oh, it made me cringe,
Yeah.
and it's hard to make me cringe. But yeah, it was a stupid pregnancy angle, and it came up with some of the stupidest shit. And it's just at the minute that WCW turned around and said, "You know what, Vince, we don't need you anymore," and they sent him home. Whoever they put in place for that job pulled Stacy Keibler aside and said, "You're in this pregnancy angle, right?" And she's like, "Yeah." She goes, "They're like, let's figure a way to get you out because it's bad."
Yeah,
it was bad.
And hell, he even put the damn WCW title on him one time. Between, okay, I would like to think that David Arquette has actually, in a way, somewhat made up for, the whole WCW title thing. He's actually proven how much of a legit interest he has in it. So in my eyes, he's at least somewhat made up for that. Vince Russo had no business winning that damn belt.
No, he had none.
Or writing himself in there. He literally, between David Arquette and then him winning it, it was like it pretty much ruined the whole damn belt.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with David Arquette, I mean, I can understand, you put in some odd way, you put your title on the guy that's starring in a movie that's loosely based on your company.
Yeah.
That's promotion right there. That's
that is another thing.
Those of us that watch Wrestling Revolver, we all know about promotion. It's going on right now. So there you go with that. That's Vince Russo doing it is just stroking his own ego.
And the guy that Revolver's bringing in, he showed that he has a legit interest in the business.
Oh yeah.
That he is like, he wants what's best for the wrestling business. If the wrestling business wants him, I firmly believe that if he really thought that an idea that was being pitched to him for a wrestling show was bad and would bring a bad image on whatever promotion that he was going for, that he would be voicing that. He seems like he has a legit love.
So you look at, I almost look at it like this. Okay, the dude won an Emmy like what, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, whatever it was, and he calls out his opponent for the next show, and that made people go, "What?"
Yeah, their eyes got on Revolver real quick.
And then he was on the Late Show with David Colbert, whatever his name is.
Colbert.
He's a leftist jackass anyway. And he sits there and he brings up Revolver again. You want to talk about free publicity? Boom. But
right there.
Here's something else. It's a two-way street, because now you're going to have people that are fans of his show go, "The guy wrestles? I'm going to have to check this out."
Exactly.
And then the people that are with the Revolver guy, I know this guy's an actor, and he just won.
This guy just won an Emmy. I got to go check that show.
I got to go check out this show. And like for me, I'd never even heard of the show, and to be honest, I still haven't gotten to watch it. But yeah, it's a two-way street.
You definitely got people at least curious.
You got the Hollywood people, and you got the wrestling people, and they're all going to go, "Hey, let's check out what's going on over here."
Yeah.
What the hell?
Makes perfect sense. And my other thing that I have against Vince Russo is there was this article that I stumbled across at work that Vince Russo apparently said that this certain person should not be in the position that he's in, calling him a mark, because it was, go out and say it because I mean it's out there, that during a recording with Denise Salcedo, which huge fan of hers with Will
yes,
Washington,
okay.
who used to be with Fightful and has done a lot of stuff with Denise, is now in a office position with AEW.
What was the name
I can't
again?
remember the name of the exact thing.
Well,
and he also co-hosts the AEW
Okay.
Unrestricted podcast.
Yeah.
And a question came up about how he feels working with Bryan Danielson. And he had glowing things to say about him, talking about in one of his favorites. And then Vince Russo goes and calls him a mark, and that he shouldn't be in the position that he's in. And my only thing with that, and I actually in a interview recording actually brought something like this up recently, that literally anybody in the wrestling business was a fan or a mark.
Everybody.
And more often than not still are that. Because if they weren't, they probably wouldn't be putting their bodies through what they do in a pro wrestling show.
I'll take it like this. I'll take it like this. Your tribal chief used to be a mark. His opponent for WrestleMania used to be a mark. They might still be marks. That's just the way it goes. You're a fan, you're a mark. However you want to word it, you have to be a fan in order to do this. And in order to do it on the level that those guys are at right now, you have to love the business.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? It's almost to the point with the negative connotation that the word mark has when it comes to wrestling. Almost needs to be one of those things where people start taking that word back. Like, hey, yeah, I am a mark. I am a fan of this shit. I love it. I don't care what people think. That is what it is there. Last but not least, for me, the lovely Glenn Gilberti, Disco Inferno. Now, you brought up the whole thing with the Wolfpack. This is where my whole idea with that goes in. He has been critical of Eddie Kingston, talking about him like he's cosplaying the All Japan style of wrestling. Well, let's just say this: and I'll say it. I don't think he actually pays attention to my damn show. He's too busy with Conan, which I got respect for Conan.
I got mad respect for Conan. My only problem is that he's teamed up with him. And it's like, okay, so you're going to team up with a guy. You have a podcast that could be up here, but because of the person that you're teaming up with, it's coming down here.
And the whole thing with him saying Eddie Kingston.
I've said this before. I've said this before, bringing up the term genius. I think Conan is a genius.
Oh, yeah.
You look at some of the stuff he's done down in Mexico, I think he's an absolute genius.
Oh, totally.
Down in Mexico, unfortunately, it doesn't exactly translate up here. Okay, fine. But the name is still out there. He already has a following here with the stuff he did in WCW and whatnot. Okay. You are a wrestling genius who's going to bring a dude whose only big thing was that he was a lackey for the NWO. That's it. When you're in a tag team with Das Wunderkind and you're called the Dancing Fools, that just goes to show that the booking department doesn't have anything for you.
Oh, yeah. And it's like, okay, you want to talk about Eddie Kingston cosplaying the All Japan style.
Glenn Gilberti cosplayed as a wrestler when he was in WCW.
Literally, his whole thing is cosplaying. He cosplayed a stupid ass disco dancer
That dude
Then-
can show up to San Diego Comic-Con dressed like in his Disco Inferno stuff and say, "Hey, someone's actually cosplaying as Disco Inferno."
Yeah. And then
he'll be like, "But I am Disco Inferno." It's like, oh, well.
Yeah.
All right.
And then he goes and he's basically cosplaying as an NWO Wolfpack member. And then he goes and he's cosplaying as a Filthy Animals member.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody in the right mind takes that idiot seriously. I don't know how anybody puts any weight on anything he says. He's literally never been relevant in wrestling.
And I think he does. Doesn't he have another podcast besides the one with Conan?
I only know that one because literally I know
there's been some podcasts that he's been critical of, like AEW or the booking styles of this company, or he hasn't touched WWE. I've noticed that before. He'll shit on Impact, he'll shit on AEW. He won't touch WWE, probably because of, I don't know why. Conan probably told him not to do it because of Rey Mysterio. I don't know, but he'll just because of their booking style. You know, the last person, you know who I would actually take advice from when it comes to shitting on a booking style? Jim Cornette. I would much rather listen to Jim Cornette's podcast and the old school fluff that comes out of his mouth than listen to Glenn Gilberti and his Disco Inferno BS. And it's just, I don't know why. What in God's name made him? It kind of reminds me of the guy that was a college football stud. And he tried to go into the NFL and just completely washed out. And so what happens is either ESPN, Fox Sports, or one of the other NFL things, or even college football thing, will grab him up and call him an analyst.
Yeah.
That's almost like what Glenn Gilberti should be. He should be an analyst.
He shouldn't even be that.
Make him an intern. Make him an intern. You don't have to pay him if you call him an intern.
He doesn't even deserve that. I mean, good Lord. He's never been relevant. Ever.
Never.
And like, if I want to take, you know what, to go on the flip side of this, people tend not put weight on what they say. If, you know, we'll go with it. Jim Cornette, well, yeah, he's one wacky son of a bitch.
Yeah, he's a wacky bastard.
I'll give him this. He ain't afraid to speak his mind. And that I got respect for.
Yeah.
And then there's also people like, a lot of the people involved over at Busted Open that they have, like Bully Ray, Mark Henry, Thunder Rosa,
Tommy Dreamer.
Mickey James is doing a lot over there.
Tommy
Dreamer. Like, people that have definitely been relevant.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them still. I mean, I'm not going to take away, that some are doing their thing backstage now. And hey, that is cool. If you still have a capacity to bring something to the pro wrestling business, whether that be in the ring, backstage, and with office, and being a coach or a producer, whatever. Good. Those are the people that I would put weight on. Not some guy that couldn't do anything worth a shit on his own when he's at top, or a guy that was never relevant in the business in the first fucking place.
I gotta look at it like this. You brought up Jim Cornette, and you put a lot of stock in what he says. The dude's a student of the game. You ever watched it? You ever watched the videos where he does they do a tour of his
all the historian.
The dude is granted, it's an old school mind, and unfortunately, the old school mentality of wrestling is not working. Would not work. I mean, it could. You could find the niche for it, but right now, it's not going to work out.
Yeah.
So I get where he's coming from when Cornette goes on one of these rants about AEW and how Moxley's bleeding every 5 seconds and everyone's beating the piss out of each other. Well, how many times has Jim Cornette gone overseas to watch Japanese wrestling? Because that's the same. It's the exact same way. But I would take more stock into what Jim Cornette says because he's a student of the game. The same as, like you said, with Busted Open. Bully Ray, student of the game. The dude owns his own. He might still own the school.
Yeah,
the Trinity Academy. Tommy Dreamer, he has House of Hardcore.
He had House of Hardcore. I don't think they're running anymore.
Mark Henry, I think, is a backstage coach with AEW.
Yep, he is.
Thunder Rosa, Mickey James. Mickey James just wound up taking over a creative spot with Ohio Valley Wrestling. And then you got the guy that started all, Dave LaGreca. I don't know where he came from. That's fine.
So I even put more stock in what he has.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the group that he's put around himself.
Yes, because
the guy is smart as hell.
All the Busted Open, all of Conrad Thompson's, and I'm going to throw this out there, all of Conrad Thompson's podcasts, they're all up there because you got people that are students of the game. They're old school. Art Anderson, I'd take stock in anything Art Anderson had to say.
Oh, God, yeah.
Jarrett, okay, Jeff Jarrett, I'm still going to call him the human fast forward button because of the fact that he's still he's a dick. Okay, I'm sorry, he's a dick. The dude, I actually saw a post where somebody pissed and moaned that back in Halloween, Jeff Jarrett beat Jeff Hardy for the whatever it was.
That Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Thing, and he hasn't defended it since. Dude, you fuck off, okay? Number one, it's a throw-off belt, all right?
Yeah.
We're not going to worry about that. But it's just, I'd take more stock into what Jeff Jarrett has to say than Glenn Gilberti. You want to know when the last time Glenn Gilberti was actually relevant outside of wrestling? It's when he was at TNA and he pinned Scarlett. Karrion Kross's wife now. She was actually wrestling when he was there, and he had to pull her tights to do it.
Oh. He wasn't even relevant then.
He wasn't relevant. He was a backstage dude. He's kind of like Johnny Swinger is now. They really have nothing for him. He's more of a comedy act. That's all Disco Inferno's wrestling career was. He was a comedy act. Unfortunately,
at least with Johnny Swinger, he's somewhat entertaining.
Disco Inferno,
you basically want to pay him to not show up on the damn camera.
As far as I'm concerned, there's only one person that's a comedy wrestler that's actually making it. And that's R-Truth.
Oh God,
he is
gold.
He is gold. Other than that, the next one I would say would be Colt Cabana or Orange Cassidy. They're both. Orange Cassidy's more serious now that he's the champion. But other than that, I would actually take stock in any of those guys.
Oh yeah.
Before I take stock in anything Gilberti says, because someone needs to shut his ass down. I think the only reason Conan is working with Gilberti is because no one else wanted to do it at the time.
Well, that and they do have history together, so
they do, but it's still.
Yeah.
Why would you put yourself through that? I don't know.
I don't know. I give Conan credit for even wanting to put up with him.
Mm-hmm. I do too.
But yeah. Anyways, that is about all I have. Damn, I almost worked up a sweat getting on my damn rant about all that. Anyways,
you brought up Gilberti, and I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, here we go.
Well, hell, we already had a mutual friend of ours post a bad memory he had a freaking disco. God,
anyway.
I would have been in the same boat with him. You hear the Wolfpack music going, and that's the guy that walks out.
I don't. That was also during a time when the NWO was just taking anyone off the street to join up.
Yeah.
So it's one of those.
As if bringing in disco didn't prove that.
Mm-hmm. That was also a time when they pulled in so many people that it just kind of ruined the whole concept of it all. And it's like, All right. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ugh. I have a feeling we could rant on for a while about that one.
Yeah, we can.
Anyways, that is about it. Everybody make sure you're having a good week. Treat each other well. Let's fucking go.
Don't give each other a stunner.
Yeah.